Hi guys, welcome back to Tigre Aitana. My name is Abby, and today we are going to do another paranormal story time. And we're going to talk about. I mean, I should probably just say this story because the story is like it's a little bit weird. This one doesn't have to do with ghosts more than it really has to do with demons, but we're going to talk about it. So this story this story starts off with basically I went out with my mom and my aunt, her sister. She was visiting from DR, and we went to go have like dinner, but it wasn't really like dinner time. It was more like around like 3 or 4. So it was still light out, so we had gone to go have dinner and just, you know, hang out and talk and stuff. And on our way back, my aunt was talking about like that she needed to stop by her friend's house to pick up some food or whatnot. And then she started talking about the house, and she was just saying how she was telling my mom the story about the house, and she was just like, there's just something weird about it, like there's something off, like every time I'm in there I feel really weird, like I'm not sure what's going on there. And my mom was just like, yeah, they need to do something in the house. Like they like, my mom was just, they were going back and forth about what they should do, whatever, and they were going to have like a prayer circle or something, like to just really, you know, remove what was in the house. And so when my mom's driving and we finally get in front of the house, I'm feeling fine, I just ate, I'm good, you know, I'm good. And my mom, she's like hilarious. She goes, oh, llévate a Abby para que ella vea, dile a Abby que vaya contigo, whatever. So she tells my aunt to take me with her into the house that they were just complaining about, that it's having like a lot of weird vibes, juju, spiritual energy. And I'm just like, and so I'm like, okay, fine, Thea, I'll help you get the food from the house that you were gonna pick up or whatever. So we're going into the house, and before I'm like walking, we're entering not from the front door but like from the back area, because that's where the kitchen what connects to the kitchen. And so we're going into the back, and right before I walk in, I'm feeling I'm still fine, but the second I step foot into the house, I start feeling pressure here, and it's like immediate migraine coming out of nowhere. Like there was no reason at all for me to just like have a migraine out of the blue. Like it was just like really weird, and then I was just like, whoa, what was that? And then so I'm just like trying to kind of like pause and like really just like, why am I getting this migraine right now? Like I was just really like, okay, let me just move slow. So I'm walking in, and we're walking into the kitchen, and I'm just looking around, and the vibe is just so dead in there. And it just looks like I'm looking around at everybody. There were some people sitting down watching, like because the living room connects with the kitchen, so there was people sitting around on the other side, and you know, I'm Spanish, so I got introduced or whatever to everybody, but everybody's vibes were like low. There was something really kind of dead about their energy. They were very like sluggish, and it just felt like they were muted. Like nothing was like nothing was, there was no energy in the house. There was vibes, and there was obviously some activity that was happening, but at the same time there was just like, it was something really dark, and just like it's almost like something was feeding off their energy. And that's exactly what like came to me while I was in the house. And I was just like, so I got introduced or whatever, and I'm standing in the kitchen, and I'm just like feeling super like kind of like trying to fight off this migraine like that's trying to attack me. And I'm just like, okay, I'm looking around, and everybody and I'm getting all these vibes and all these like weird, like, okay, what? So I'm trying to like help my aunt. I'm like, can we go now? I literally go look at my aunt, I'm like, can we go? And I turned to her, she's like, oh, just help me put this in the bag or whatnot. And then I'm helping her with the Tupperware, and like I look up at the stairs and I didn't see anything, but it was more like I can sense that something was there and it knew that I was there. And you could just like the energy on that floor, it was just so draining. Like I just felt like something was trying to pull on my energy, and that's where I was getting the pressure on my head. And that's usually what happens when there's a demon present. They'll try to attack you with your strongest part of your body, which is here, because this is where you can set intention, and this is where you could tell it to go away. And so it was just like trying to eat at my like energy, and I'm just like trying to stay focused. I'm trying to help her put stuff in the bag, and I could just feel it. And I knew that there was something upstairs, because you can tell that there was something, just like it just lingered, like the way it was moving, like the way that the energy was, it was just so draining. But you can tell that there was something upstairs, and I wasn't gonna go upstairs for any reason because I didn't have to. I was just helping her get the food. So I'm like, okay, cool, can we leave? So I just saw it again, and I put everything in there, and I have this gigantic headache, and I'm just like, okay, they need to do something. There's something here, but it's eating off their energy. And that's how I knew it was demonic, because of the intensity and how immediately it was affecting me, because ghosts and like spirits and stuff, they don't usually attack you from the get-go like this, like unless they have some sort of like darker aspect or they're demonic. So I was just like I just felt weird. Like I felt like I needed to leave. I just wanted to leave, and I was just like, okay, there's something here, but I gotta go. So finally we like finished putting everything in the bag, and then Spanish people take 5 years to say goodbye because they have to say goodbye to every single one. So I was just waiting, and I'm just like looking around. I'm just like, okay, I'm not going upstairs. I'm not going upstairs. And I'm just like trying to block any and all type of like messages, because it's kind of hard when you're a medium. It's a lot. It's easier for you to receive messages because you're always open. Basically, not that you're always open to it, but you're more receptive to it. But I was trying not to receive anything. Why? Because the first form of attack, as when I went to this house, is to attack here, which means that the whatever's in that house it's not trying to communicate, more of take my energy. So I knew that there was already something weird about it. So the second like we're walking out, the second I step foot outside of the house, migraine gone. And I was just like, and I did one of those, and I was just like, whoa. And I'm walking back, and I don't say anything to my aunt because I knew we were gonna talk about it in the car. My mom was gonna ask, and I'm not trying to repeat myself because I don't like repeating myself when I don't need to repeat myself. And I was just like trying to process what just happened. And so I get in the car, and I'm like, okay, primero, ustedes necesitan hacer algo. Like I was just like, you guys need to do something. They're like, because they were already talking about doing something collectively, like bringing members of the church and doing like prayer, like blessing the house, whatever it was. I was like, you guys need to do something because there's literally a demon feeding off the energy of people in that house. And it just, the fact that people look like they were just numb to it, and that happens as well when there's a demon in the house and it's been feeding on you for a long time. You get really drained. You don't feel like doing much. You're just like sluggish. And that's why immediately when someone else that goes into the house that has energy it's just like, oh, something new to feed on. And that's how you know it's demonic. That's one of the ways. So I told my aunt, I was like, yeah, there's something there. There's definitely something on the second floor, but that first floor is just crazy. There's something feeding off people in that house. It's feeding off the energies, feeding off any positivity. Like I felt it. Like, you know how Spanish people are very loving and like, open, giving you hugs and kisses like when they first meet you, and like, that's just how we are. So it wasn't like that when I met them. It was just more like, hola, ¿cómo está? Like it was very dead and drained. So I told her, I was just like, you guys need to do something. I'm not going back in there though. I'm not going back in there though, but there's definitely something there. And I told my mom, I'm like, I got an insane migraine when I first went into the house, and then when I came out, it's gone. And so they were like, wow, okay. So they were gonna talk to the pastor and get something together so they can bless the house. And I didn't get to, my aunt flew back to DR about a week later, so I never got to follow up with her about like what happened to the house. I should probably ask my mom. But that was kind of a really weird experience because it was weird. Like, spirits and demons and stuff like that, they don't always show up visually. A lot of the time you'll have to use like your other clairs, and I'm gonna do a series on the clairs so we could, you know, talk in depth about being a medium and how to develop your gifts. But you don't always get to use like the you know, visualize and see like what's in the room, what's in the house and stuff like that. A lot of the time it'll be a vibe, because if they don't want to show themselves, they're not going to. It'll be a vibe. It'll be like voices, like you'll feel stuff. But a lot of the time, and this is not the first time that I've gotten spiritually attacked by a demon or by spirit, but it will be a vibe, and you can kind of tell what kind of game they want to play when you first step into the house. You'll be able to see the shift, and you'll be able to see why it's happening and where you're gravitating towards. It's not always going to be like you're going to see this like ghost walking down the stairs and stuff. It's not always going to be like that. Sometimes it's going to be very much like a spiritual warfare. And the best way for them to win is for them to not see, for you to not see where they're coming at you from. But that one was really intense. Like, when they go for the head, like your crown chakra, which is like super powerful and is the reason why in many religions this has to be protected. Is the reason why we wear wraps in my culture, is a reason why like this is like the connecting chakra, like to like the crown is a connecting chakra to your like divine and higher self. It's because of that. There's like, they're trying to disconnect and put pressure on here, so you kind of lose connection to yourself, your intuition, which is your third eye. Like it attacks all three, so you can't see, you can't speak, you just kind of go with the flow, and then it just feeds off you. So it was just really intense. So yeah, that happened to me. Like, I want to say that was like 4 years ago. I want to say, yeah, 4 years ago, when my aunt came. So that's another paranormal story for you guys. I hope you guys loved it. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.